How will AI improve education? Yeah, today I'd like to chat a little bit about education and AI because education, specifically self-education, is one of my favorite subjects. It's something I'm involved in. And there are various specific points we'd like to touch on today. And these are things that you may also think about, as I've mentioned in the past, something that you could perhaps get involved with in your own capacity with regards to AI. So the first issue we're going to talk about is personalized learning. AI has the ability to create a learning style specifically tailored, personalized to a specific individual's needs. So that personalized education is very important and is done by data collection and pattern recognition. As I mentioned before with AI, it has these capacities to either look at past history with huge data sets or to evolve rapidly with new ideations. So it can create content, new courses, new exercises, and things that will improve the outcomes for individual learners. Next, we want to talk about intelligent learning. And, it has a way of giving individual support because of the algorithms and the capacity of machine, specifically with AI-driven machines, they can handle immediate responses and they can give a one-on-one type virtual teaching process. The next thing we'll look about is really checking that it can find out areas of difficulty for learners, and it can then inculcate extra resources to help that learner specifically overcome those setbacks. And as we know, a lot of times in the education in classrooms, a lot of learners are too embarrassed or too shy to really let the teachers know what's happening. Well, this is a much more individualized process, and it can carry it out to a huge number of learners. This is the real power of accelerating technologies. Next, I'd like to chat about automation as far as grading and feedback is concerned. So here's another great thing for teachers, because this is very time-saving for teachers who can apply some more interest and more intrigue into what they're trying to help and more engagement in what they're trying to teach. It has capacity for analysis. It has capacity for consistent evaluation. It gives marking and so forth, a very, very equitable amongst all students. Obviously, the personal feedback loops are critically important when it comes to a child's education. Next, we're looking at enhanced collaboration. And collaboration, amongst students is very important. And here online, you can do that. In a class, you don't want everyone talking at the same time. It's very difficult to teach. But here they can collaborate. There are virtual spaces that they can take part in, and they can share ideas and help each other. Specifically things like projects. They can really have team members play a role within the education, within the classroom for projects. Another thing we look at is group work, teamwork, etc. And you can see how this is very similar to what's happening now in the workforce. If you look at exponential organizations, they're doing similar setups where they're using technology for social interaction amongst staff members. Here it already starts at school level. Next we can chat about is intelligent content creation. So, education really with content is critical, and how it's changing so rapidly. And this can be done immediately in real time with intelligent content creation. The textbooks, the lessons and things can be changed up. You're not stuck with the same printed documentation for a year or longer periods. Here it can be changed very, very quickly to keep up with what's the latest and what's in vogue. Assessments and specifically to assess things and look at tailor-made specific needs for individuals, as I mentioned before. So that content is critical, and it's enabled through accelerating technologies. Early, intervention and for special education is the next issue. It has the ability, AI, to identify learning disabilities or perhaps setbacks or abnormalities as far as a learner is concerned. And the student performance can be, and behavior patterns can be recognized very quickly through AI. And what happens is here it has early intervention, which is critical, and then it can apply special needs and special methodologies to help a specific student. and analyze not just weaknesses, obviously strengths. Some people learn very much quicker than others. So those that have great potential can also not be held back by the rest of the class as far as this is concerned. It gives them a huge advantage to fulfill their potential. Next, I want to chat about is VR and AR simulations. This is critically important and it's going to be very impactful. It's about to hit the market and in a big way. So it's very immersive learning and very experiential. So it's very powerful. It can take historical events and put you in the middle of a battle. It can take things like scientific experiments, and you can do it in a virtual environment, actually do an experiment. It can also take you to distant locations. If you're doing geography, if you're talking about stellar space, areas in space. So it can create huge engagement. It's very powerful, and that engagement obviously helps retain information as part of that retention, that experience that they're having. So this is a really big area to look at, is VR and AR. They're going to definitely have a huge impact on learners and the ability to retain and learn information. The last point I'd really like to touch on is just data-driven insights. And with this overall view, you're going to have big data. Obviously, here with AI, I can search out specific patterns, desired patterns of recognition, and that will work towards bettering performance of individuals, of students. It'll check out how they're doing. It'll check out their attendance. It'll also look at their engagement, how successful it's being in engaging the student, and can have actual insights. So this is the ability to act on things as early as possible, and those insights, really help the staff with interventions and getting students, not letting anyone fall through the net. So you can see, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, that this type of learning is going to become more and more prevalent, is more individually tailored, and it's basically self-education in as much as that the syllabus and the things are also going to have to change, obviously, and they will change, because what has been taught in the past is not necessarily going to be that useful in the future. Things will need to be changed. So very exciting within the education field, a huge amount of potential. You can look at those different ideas and different areas, key focus areas, and see something that you may be interested in, something that you could also get involved in with some of these platforms that are out there now. There are AI platforms that you can create your own individual ecosystem, and it is very powerful. So, as usual, this is John Harris from Exponential Radio, and you can get back on and go and see the back issues. You can go to johnarthurharris.blogspot.com, and you can listen to any of the other subjects that we've spoken about. And as usual, until next time, you have a great day.